Good morning to all of you. I hope I'm audible to each one of you, dear participants.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
First of all, I would like to thank Professor Nagendraswamy, sir, for having introduced me to this audience, and with a kind acknowledgement for the opportunity given to me in this session to deliver a lecture on online and e-learning. For the next roughly about 2.5 hours, I would like to interact with you on this particular topic, and I wanted to give you a clear picture about an overview of e-learning, and of course some of the benefits, and also to formally know the entire e-learning framework and how the students and the faculties and the institution can benefit out of this particular technology. So with these clear-cut objectives, I would like to begin my presentation. I hope the slides are visible to each one of you. 1 minute.
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Yes, madam. 1 minute. Presentation mode.
ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ
1 minute.
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ಶಾಟ್
ಬಂತು ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್.
Yes. Right. Okay, friends. So let's begin the session. As I was already introduced, I just skip this slide.
6 ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡಿ, ನೆನ್ನೆ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ 15.
Okay. My sincere request to all the participants before I begin the session is please mute your mobiles, and whenever you want to talk to, in case if it's very much important to talk to you at any point of time, not with me, with someone else, I request you to mute and then speak. Otherwise it may disturb the other participants as well. And if at all you want to interact with me at any point, you please directly, you can interact with me, just unmute and you can speak to me. I try my level best to answer your queries at the point of time itself, or else at the end, definitely we'll be having some time for interaction where I am happy to receive your queries, and I try my level best to answer your queries. So with this note, I wanted to begin the session with a very beautiful quote. Every interaction is an opportunity to learn only if we are interested in improving rather than proving. So with this note, let's all of us try to understand the importance of this session and also the importance of e-learning in today's context, that is in the today's information technology era. The presentation outline covers a very brief introduction to the e-learning, types of e-learning, importance of e-learning, characteristics of e-learning, e-learning methods, ADDIE process, e-learning tools and companies, future of e-learning, e-learning SWOT analysis, summary and conclusion, followed by references. So these are some of the points I just wanted to touch upon in my presentation. And to begin with, each one of you are quite familiar with this e-learning after a pandemic, COVID-19. And prior to that, I believe only the corporate people and the technical people were quite familiar and also have some practical exposure to this e-learning. And of course, these researchers inevitably would have been used this e-learning concepts as a part of their research. But however, for the teachers from various other domains, we were not that familiar, and also we did not have very practical exposure. Of course, we might have heard about the terminology e-learning, and we knew a little bit about the e-learning and many things as such, but we did not have a clear picture and a practical exposure about the e-learning and the methods, and of course, many issues with e-learning. But after this COVID-19, each one of us were forced to learn the technology, and we have to use this. And because of that, we all have become quite familiar with this. And with this, I'm sure that it's not new to each one of you. You're quite familiar with this, but yet I would like to give you a formal touch to these points so that definitely it helps each one of us for our lifelong learning and betterment as professionals in the teaching community. So with this, let's look at this brief introduction. We live in a knowledge-based economy that is characterized by advancements in technology, globalization, intensive competition, and rapid changes in customer needs. To be able to considerably grow, cope with these changes, and stay ahead of the game, the workforce must keep itself constantly updated with new concepts, skills, and technology. And this simple and a brief introduction clearly says that nothing is permanent except change. We have to adopt the change as the technology grows, and it definitely influences each one of us to adopt and update ourselves. Otherwise, it's very difficult for us to sustain. And definitely in this 21st century, the technology has revolutionized each and every sector and our day-to-day life as well. Even to start with a primary school up to the post-graduation, in almost all schools, there is a computing system where the teachers try to explain the concept of technology even to the kids. And because of smart phones and smart TVs at home, even the kids are quite familiar with most of the technological innovations. And that's what is the change. It's inevitable for each one of us. We have to adapt. Even in education sector also, it's inevitable and we have to adopt it. Earlier, we were using a blackboard and a chalk to explain the concepts, but now we have changed and we have updated with ICT, information communication technology tools. We use smart boards, we use PowerPoint presentations, and we use other tools to make our presentation much more clear and convincing, and through some visualization, we better explain the concepts to the students. And that's how we try to make use of the technology in order to deliver the things to the students in a more elegant and a precise way, which definitely reduces our time of delivery and enhances the efficiency and efficacy. So this is how we understood the importance of the technology in today's education system. And not only education sector, in any sector for that matter, whether it is a business sector, whether it is e-commerce or banking sector, everywhere there is a change, and technology is taken over many things, and we need to learn and we have to adapt if at all we want to sustain. So because we have already experienced the digital payments, right? So wherever you go, just scan the QR code and just pay. Whether you are going to a hotel, whether you are purchasing vegetables from a shopkeeper, even a person who is selling the fruits at a footpath, she is also having a QR code to his account. Just scan and pay, and that's what is the technology, and that's what is the change. So all these things definitely comes under the framework of e-learning, right? It is not that only the academic material we are delivering to the students, but apart from that, even to understand the technology, we can make use of the concept of e-learning, and through which we can learn a lot of things and stay updated with the technology and make use of the technology for the benefits. And that's how the system goes and the life continues. So with this brief background and introduction, now let's formally define what's learning. It is the process or experience of gaining knowledge or skill. Because we are all teachers, we are very much familiar with this because we are into learning every day. The relatively permanent change in a person's knowledge or behavior due to experience. So definitely, when we learn more and more, we get more and more experience. And whatever the tasks we do, we try to do it more with a more precision. You can take an example of a driving. When we started driving for the first time, definitely we were not that much experienced, and our driving was not that smooth, and the performance was also not that good. But over a period of time, when we learn the driving skills, then definitely we can get a good experience, and also we can get a good performance with our vehicle, and also we can keep our vehicle in a good condition. This is just an example. So learning in any aspect for that matter definitely changes the person's knowledge and behavior due to experience. So a process that leads to change which occurs as a result of experience and increases the potential of improved performance and future learning. So once we learn a particular concept, then definitely we can enhance our knowledge going into the depth and maybe even the width as well. Because once we become the teachers, our learning never ends, because a teacher is always a student. Because if at all I want to address students for 1 hour, I have to get updated with that particular topic. I must know what changes have been done very recently. We need to look into the literature, and having understood the literature, then we can deliver the things to the students, and we also give them what is the state of the art technology or advancements in that particular domain, whether it is a commerce, arts, maths, or technology, it doesn't matter, because research happens in each and every discipline and the domain. And it's very much important for us to teach the students the current trends and state of the art literature. So that's how, when we get updated with that recent information, so definitely we get more experience and knowledge, and that definitely reflected in our teaching and also the way we address the problems, right? So that's what is actually the learning. Each one of us are quite familiar as teachers. But when it comes to the types of learning, now let's look at a digital learning. So Many times we heard the word digital learning.
Sorry.
Digital learning means any
Nale
form of learning.
class. Madam.
Venkatesh sir,
Sir, sorry, sir.
please mute and speak, sir. In case.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you. So the digital learning is a type of modern learning option, which includes a combination of e-learning, online learning, and blended learning, along with offline digital learning. So what do we understand with this statement? So digital learning, offline digital learning. So that means maybe a decade ago or even 2 decades ago, we were finding very much difficult to get the material because everything was in the form of textbooks or on a printed material, a physical material printed on a paper. And we used to get Xerox copies of the same, whether we are teachers or researchers, right? So we used to take the Xerox copy and we keep that material and whenever we want to refer it. But today that has been changed because of the advancements in technology. Today, we did not keep the Xerox copies. If you have a smartphone with us, we can keep all the material in a digital form and you can retrieve them as and when required, anywhere and anytime. You need not carry all the material with you all the time, right? So, because today the smartphone is having a lot of storage space and you can keep all the material there and you can refer as and when you require. That's what is offline digital material, or with that we can learn. We can read the material and we can learn, and any form of such material through which we learn something is referred to as offline digital learning. So in addition to that, there is online learning, blended learning, and also we call e-learning. Of course, many times we use this synonymously, but when it comes to technology at a very finer level of detail, there will be a subtle difference between e-learning, online learning, and also the blended learning. Okay, so let's see the definition for this. So when it comes to e-learning, it's a type of learning where internet technologies are used to deliver a broad array of solutions that enhance knowledge and performance. The students and the teacher interact online in this type of learning. And whatever we are witnessing today is an example of e-learning. Because sitting at one end, I'm delivering something to you. At the other end, you are receiving it at the same time. And of course, we can interact and you can raise queries and I can answer your queries and we can exchange the knowledge. And that's how we try to learn together. So we use internet as a technology and we deliver a broad array of solutions that really enhances our knowledge and as well as the performance. So this is what is an e-learning. I will let you know later some of the e-learning tools which we normally use in order to accomplish this. So in the other context, we also use a blended learning, where a blended learning tries to hybridize the e-learning and also the traditional face-to-face learning. So definitely in today's context, the people or the experts have revealed the fact that the blended learning is more efficient. So it offers many advantages because it hybridizes both the e-learning as well as a traditional face-to-face learning. So in this learning, the teacher uses online, right? I mean, technology for delivering online instructions. At the same time, they can also meet the students or the clients and discuss with them to clarify more with face-to-face interactions or discussions. So definitely the tools like Microsoft Link or Easy Talks, Cloud Meeting, etc. can be used in order to accomplish this task. So even in corporate sector also, because all of you have already heard about it, work from home. In most of the companies, the employees just work for 3 days at home, and remaining 2 days they just go to office and discuss with their managers or other members of the team, discuss with them and plan for the next week and come home, and again they work from home. So that is the new model of corporate environment or working environment. That's what is called the blended mode. Very similarly, even in academic sector also, definitely we can think of implementing this blended learning. And even the current national education policy also recommends the blended learning. Maybe in future, we can expect our students to visit physically the classes only for 2 days, and remaining 3 days, the teachers can sit at home and deliver the things. But we don't know how far it can meet our requirements. Maybe in future, definitely we can think of this, right? That's what the NEP very recently suggests, this blended mode of learning. And online can be described as a combination of blended learning and e-learning. And of course, the key element is the internet. So with this, now let's look at in a nutshell the types of learning. At the outset, we have a digital learning, any form of learning which uses the digital material and the technology for learning. And within the umbrella of digital learning, we have online learning and offline digital learning. For online learning, again, we can classify it as a blended learning and e-learning. On the other hand, there is an offline digital learning. So with this, we can understand the different types of learning and also some of the benefits and some of the challenges in order to adopt this type of learning in today's education sector. Of course, the challenges will be there definitely when we are trying to introduce a new technology. Challenges will be there. But over a period of time, we can overcome the challenges because we will become more and more experienced. We will be able to address the issues very efficiently, and thus we will overcome many of the limitations and we can move towards the success. So with this, now let's understand why e-learning. So according to John Chambers, CEO of Cisco Systems, there are two great equalizers in life, that is the internet and education. By combining the two, e-learning will be the great equalizer in the next century by eliminating the barriers of time, distance, and socio-economic status. Individuals can now take charge of their own lifelong learning. So definitely with the support of internet and an education, and we can, right, we can treat the entire community or the society as equal. And also we can remove the barriers of time, distance, and socio-economic status. So the time means, because there are many people, according to the survey, because of their background and economic conditions, they are not able to attend the regular classes. They cannot go to schools because they have to work or they have to earn their bread and a cup of tea. So it's inevitable for them, right? But here, for such class of people, the traditional way of learning is not at all possible. And again, the distance. For example, if a person wants to study in a very prestigious universities, and let us assume that it is very far away from that particular native place, then definitely it may be difficult for him to go there and study there. So the distance matters. Okay, so the distance matters, and also the socio-economic status. Many times we heard that it is a dream for everyone to study at a very prestigious universities abroad, right? Maybe UK or US or Michigan State University or Harvard universities or many other prestigious universities, right? Maybe because of a socio-economic status, we are not affordable to study there. But with the technology, with the internet, and with whatever the education we would like to provide, with that, definitely we can eliminate the barriers of time. A student who has interest to study can study at any time, irrespective of the time span, and also irrespective of the distance, right? So we can enroll for a course which is offered by a Cambridge University, and I can attend the classes sitting at my office or at my place. So distance doesn't matter at all. And also the socio-economic status. It doesn't mean that we must be kids of the richest people, right? Even an ordinary person can listen to such lectures offered by the great universities and the great persons with a great profile. So it never stops a person to attend the classes and learn. And that's how the internet and education is the two great equalizers in life, according to John Chambers, CEO of Cisco Systems. And this definitely has been proved today, right? So we have eliminated the barriers of time, distance, and socio-economic status. And with the support of the technology and with the e-learning concept, we can achieve this equalizers in this century. So with this e-learning, apart from this, expands opportunity of education for everyone, expands quality of learning for everyone, increases the delivery of learning, and also improves the efficiency of teaching. So opportunity of education means each and everyone who's interested can learn whatever they want. That's opportunity. I have an opportunity to listen to a stalwarts, right, who have great accomplishments in the field of education. I have an opportunity to listen to them. Something like that. Any student can enroll for any course offered by any university across the globe, right? And that's how we can provide an opportunity for even a normal person to learn, right, the things of his or her interest and the quality of learning. So with this technology, we never distinguish or bias. Each and everyone will get the same quality learning material and kind of training. So the quality is ensured for each and everyone without any bias. And that's what, right? Even an ordinary kid, a person from a poor background, a person from a rich background, a person from a high profile background, each and everybody will be treated as the same, with the same material and the quality of teaching and learning. And then increases the delivery of learning. So definitely we can deliver the content much more, higher rate than a traditional delivery. Because you might have already experienced that. If at all I want to explain a concept of a Pythagorean theorem in mathematics, or a simple concept of a circle or simple pendulum to students at high school level, then definitely we need to write each and everything and we have to explain. Maybe it's very difficult for a teacher to visualize each and everything and explain the concept to the student. And similarly, when it comes to a biology teacher has to explain how heartbeat happens, and maybe a mitochondria or pancreas, the internal organ, right? So the teacher normally uses a chart and explain to the students in a static way. But with the support of technology today, we can make it much more dynamic, more visualized, and we can increase the rate of delivery with same and much more effectiveness. And that's what the e-learning ability. That's what it increases the delivery of learning at a higher speed. We can deliver the things, and also we can make students to learn at a faster rate and improves efficiency of teaching. Also, definitely with the support of all this technology, we can make it much more efficient, and within a short period of time, we can deliver much more. So this what is the key benefits of e-learning. So in order to make it much more clear, I have just listed out some of the points in a very simple way. E-learning can be as effective as traditional training at a lower cost. E-learning reaches a wide target audience by engaging learners who have difficulty attending conventional classroom training. So definitely, if HRDC wanted each one of you to come and attend the sessions physically in the campus, maybe it would have been inconvenient for many of you to attend. But now, because of this e-learning concept, so each one of you found it little more convenient, because sitting at your office, you can attend the sessions. And in case if there are any clarifications or doubts, definitely you can meet and you can clarify at any point of time. And that's what the idea here, right? So e-learning reaches a wide target audience by engaging learners who have difficulty attending conventional classroom training. And delivery costs for e-learning are considerably lower than those for a classroom facilities, and also instructor time, participant travel, and job time lost to attend the classroom sessions. So definitely for working class people, right? Because I already mentioned that we being teachers, we cannot stop learning. It is a continuous process. We have to learn every day new concepts, and then we have to deliver the same to our students. And how can we learn? Because we do not have an opportunity to attend the classes and then learn. Then how do you learn? So definitely one way of learning is we have to refer textbooks and we have to learn. But today, with the support of technology, we can learn in a much better way, and we can stay updated with the current technology, current state of the art information. So that's what the meaning of this, right? A particular point. So with this, e-learning can also offer effective instructional methods such as practicing with associated feedback. So practicing with associated feedback means whenever we are learning a new concept or a theory in any subject for that matter, we can assess ourselves whether we have learned properly, right? So that's what is practicing with associated feedback. So maybe when you have studied a particular subject or a particular concept or a topic within the subject, then we need to assess how well we can use this knowledge in a practical scenario. So maybe there will be a simple assignment or a problem to be solved. So we need to attend that, and that will be evaluated by the system itself, and that system will tell you how well you have learned the concept, how well you have understood the concept, and how you can use that concept in solving a real-time problem. So that's how we can practice with an associated feedback, right? So that is one of the key characteristic features of e-learning technique. And combining collaboration activities with self-paced study. So definitely for those participants who are engaged in research and those who have already completed the research, you might have experienced by now the collaboration activities with peers. So that means, for example, there is a person who is carrying out the research in a similar domain or the same subject. You can interact with them, you can collaborate with them, and you can exchange your ideas, and you can do a lot of collaboration activities with them so that you can make your research much more effective and qualitative. So at the same time, a self-paced study, right? There is no time constraint as far as your learning is concerned. At your pace, maybe in one day you can spend 1 hour, in some other day you can spend 10 hours, right? Depending upon your availability of time, you can spend that much of time for learning. So that's what combining collaboration activity with self-paced study, right? So there will be a group of people with a similar interest in solving a particular societal problem or any scientific problem as such. So they can collaborate and perform the activities together depending upon their convenience, and that's how they can achieve something or accomplish something in the subject of their interest and the field of their interest. And personalizing learning paths based on learner needs and using simulation and games. That's personalizing learner paths based on learners' needs and using simulation and games. So many times when it comes to teaching kids or students, definitely a kind of simulation, a gamification is much more effective to drag their attention and keep them alert in the learning process. Many times we have observed that in a class of 60 students, when we are delivering a lecture, definitely more than 50% of the students will deviate from the class environment. So they will be thinking somewhere else, right? Maybe because whenever we are delivering a lecture, they may not be able to match the frequency with us, right? Because they are just listening to the voice or something we have written on the board. But if possible, through simulations, through gamification, or through some kind of interactivity, we can keep the audience or the class much more engaged so that it's possible for us to deliver things in a very, very effective way. And that's what here, personalizing learning paths based on the learner needs using simulation and gamification or games, etc. So with this, all learners receive the same quality of instruction because there is no dependence on a specific instructor when it comes to specifically the e-learning, because it's very much personalized, right? Whatever you want, you can just browse through and you can learn depending upon your interest and depending upon your capacity, right? That's what is called self-paced study, because some students just read one time and they can understand. And some students may have to read 2-3 times and then they have to understand, right? So depending upon their understanding ability, they can study 1 time or 2 times or 3 times or as many times as they want, and they can learn the things much better way, right? And that's what is the opportunity which we can get through a e-learning platform. So with this observation, now I just wanted to present before you some of the benefits of e-learning for teachers that improve their tutoring style, because we are into this teaching. So how can we improve our tutoring style? So here are some of the points as suggested by the experts, which are called the benefits of e-learning for teachers. One is connecting. What do you mean by connecting in this context? It means e-learning platform allow teachers to stay connected to their students outside of school hours in order to exchange resources, videos, ideas, methodologies, and pedagogical practices. All of you can definitely agree with this, because maybe even you have that practice at your institution, right? So, but in our department, every semester and every year, when new students get admitted to our department, we create a WhatsApp group. We put everybody's into that group with a batch name. And apart from that, each and every teacher will have other groups, right? Because one set of students have opted one particular course, say C1, and some other set of students have opted another particular set of course C2. So depending upon the courses, the students will be grouped and separate WhatsApp group will be created. A particular instructor can interact with their students as far as that particular course activities are concerned, even outside the classroom environment. Maybe the conduction of seminar classes and evaluation of students' assignments and conduction of some multiple choice kind of tests. So everything can be made online, which would be otherwise difficult to manage in a regular sessions in a classroom environment, because we are limited by time. That is, we have to complete the activity from 10 to 5. Maybe sometimes we may not find time to do all these things in a regular time. So by connecting people through this technology, as I just gave an example of WhatsApp, but there are many other tools which can be used, right? Where we can connect the students even outside the school hours, so that we can exchange the resources, videos, ideas, methodologies, and pedagogical practices. Because you have already seen that whenever there is an advertisement, we share it across the group, right? Any student who can make use of that benefits, maybe in advertisement and job opportunities or training related to the skills, right? Any such kind of information can be shared across the students through WhatsApp or through mail or through SMS, any other means, so that we can keep the students always connected with the instructor or the teachers, right? And through which we can improve our teaching or tutoring style. Another is the flexibility. Among the benefits of e-learning for teachers is a large variety of different resources such as video text, presentations, and quizzes that they can use to adapt their tutoring methods to the learning style of their students. So definitely today we make use of a multimedia technology. It's not just only the text information or only the presentations, but apart from that, we also have videos and animations, sound, and many things as such. With this, we can make it much more flexible and adapt these tutoring methods to better deliver the things to the students, to the learning styles of their students. And another is the innovation, where the use of new technologies gives teachers the freedom to experiment in their teaching practice and the ability to make changes if something doesn't work. So with the support of particularly for physics or chemistry teachers or mathematics teachers, right? So we can just simulate the experiments, and we can better explain the experiment to the students. And also we can show them if something goes wrong, how it affects the entire system. So all those things can be possible with the support of technology, which we can do an experiment, and we are free to do an experiment in a simulated environment, which is not at all harmful, right? Particularly whenever we are handling chemicals in a chemistry experiments like a titration or other kind of experiments, definitely we have to be very, very careful, because even something goes wrong, something adverse effect may happen. But all such things can be very effectively carried out through simulations, and that's what is the support of technology. So we can do such kind of experiments with the e-learning platform. And another is the accessibility. Online platforms that are now available 24/7 allow teachers to develop and create their material according to their schedules and whenever they want. So this has already been experienced, right? So there is no time constraint. 24/7 you can access to the material, right? So definitely if you have created your own blogs for your students, and if you keep the material in that blog, then definitely the students can access to that material anytime, any number of times, and leave their comments, right? So that you can just watch and reply anytime possible, right? That's what is called accessibility. It's as good as we do a Google search, right? Whenever we want some information, we straight away do a Google search and we try to get the authenticated information, right? But of course, today there is a debate that whatever the information we get through a Google or some other sources, many times not well authenticated, right? But it's very much important for us, and there must be a system where one can authenticate that news, and if that is done properly, then definitely each and every piece of information that we can access will be more authenticated. So definitely as a teacher, before we keep the material in a particular storage area which will be accessed by our students, definitely we review it, we make it authenticated, and then we keep that material. It's as good as before we publish a textbook, we make sure that each and every content presented in the textbook is well reviewed, authenticated information. So very similarly, we can also create a online and digital material which is more authenticated and which will be accessible by the students 24/7, right? And that's what is the accessibility feature, and through which definitely we can improve our tutorial style. And then passion-based learning. Online platform allow teachers to support the students outside the classroom and give to them additional instructions on subject like art, singing, chess, and cooking. So even we have seen and experienced that, right? So many classes were conducted in a distance mode where that kids can learn even art, the singing, and the chess, and also the cooking. So many times each one of us, right, might have learned how to prepare a particular dish by just watching a YouTube video, right? So definitely if you have a skill and interest in cooking, so definitely by just watching a YouTube video, you can understand the recipe and you can prepare a very delicious dish. And that's what is a passion-based learning. If you are interested in cooking, or if you are interested in tailoring, or if you are interested in singing or any act, art, etc., all those things are possible at your convenience, at your pace, at your interest, right, without anybody's intervention. And that's what is the benefit of e-learning as teachers, right? So with this, now let's look at the many more, like efficiency, better communication with parents. Of course, all these things are quite familiar to each one of you, and also saves time and greener and more cost effective. So one of the most important benefits of e-learning for teachers are the reduced cost when it comes to classroom rentals, travel fees, and printing costs, and paper consumption is also significantly reduced because all of the information is in an electronic format. So by doing so, that's what the government is just thinking of, a paperless office, right? A learning management system, and also e-office, right? So the government is thinking of insisting each and every institution to have an e-office where each and everything should be done in, each and every correspondence should happen in electronic mode only, so that we can save, right, or we can make it paperless, right, and also we can save the nature, and that's what is greener and more cost effective as well, right? So these are some of the benefits as a tutor, but again the experts have highlighted some of the benefits of e-learning for teachers that encourage self-development. So definitely each one of us being teachers, we should have a kind of self-development. Otherwise, we cannot survive with the technology, with the today's demanding change, right? So accordingly, let's identify some of the benefits of e-learning for teachers that encourage self-development. One is the creativity. On a daily basis, teachers are challenged to become more versatile and creative in order to attract the attention of their students. Using a variety of online resources for an online training provokes and develops the creative thinking processes of educators, right? So many times we speak that we don't get students for a particular course, or definitely the students are not enrolling for a particular course, right? So maybe some of the reasons, but if we try to prepare a material in such a way that which creates interest in the students, right? Then definitely we can attract the students. Okay, so this creativity is one such attribute which helps each and every teacher for their self-development, right? And this is possible with the support of e-learning technology and the platform. And another is the lifelong learning that we already mentioned. So e-learning platform are one of the channels that educators can use to deepen their knowledge and increase their skills. Definitely when we were students, we might not have learned some of the concepts to the depth. But now being a teachers, definitely we need to learn those concepts again to the depth, and then we have to teach our students. Okay, for example, so I being a science a student, when I was a when I was a student, a graduate student, right? So we have learned trigonometry, right? And also integration, derivations, all those concepts, right? We used to solve many problems, but we were not able to understand the application of those concepts in reality, right? But now, once I become a teacher, I was evaluating myself that I have studied trigonometry, I have studied integration, I have studied differentiation. So how can I use all these concepts while solving a problem, right? So then I need to study the material, the books. I need to spend a lot of time to understand those concepts and then to interact with the students, right? So, but today, this has become much more easier and simple with the help of this e-technology, e-learning technology, because I can search through the required material at any point of time, and I can study, and I can analyze, assimilate the knowledge, and I can acquire the knowledge, and then I can interact with the students. And that's what is called a lifelong learning. And we can build a community. Online platforms allow educators to stay connected with colleagues from all over the world, as well as to share that ideas and gain inspiration. Suppose if you are a professor of economics or a professor of commerce, definitely you can have peers at other universities, not only in India, but even abroad as well, right? You can search through, you can interact with them, you can establish a communication, and you can exchange your ideas, and through which you can able to understand their work, and you can gain inspiration. And that's how we can do a self-development, right? That's what is building a community, right? A community, because we already have a ResearchGate as a community, LinkedIn, and many social medias for various purposes. Very similarly, there are many educational communities, right? So which serves the purpose and which delivers a community of intellectuals, right, where they can share their knowledge on a particular subject or a topic as such. And similarly, a self-reflection, a modern platform bring more benefits of e-learning to teachers, like the ability to make audio and video recordings of their lessons, and then to watch, analyze, and reflect on the same recording afterwards. So whatever the content that is being delivered right now is recorded, right? In case for some reasons, if you could not listen to this lecture continuously, but no problem, you can just watch this recorded video once again, and you can watch as many times as you wish, and you can understand, right? Still, if there are any doubts which are unclear, you can interact at any point of time and you can clarify. You need not personally come and meet the instructor or a resource person. Even through other communication media, you can interact. And that's what is called a self-reflection. So modern platform bring more benefits of e-learning to teachers, like the ability to make audio and video recordings of their lessons, and then to watch, analyze, and reflect on the same recording afterwards. Okay, so maybe I can receive these recordings and I can watch myself and I can assess myself whether I have delivered the content correctly, right? Where is the improvement? Okay, so where should I improve, right? And where I need to give more analysis at depth. So all those assessment I can do myself, so that next time I can improve my presentation or the content in whatever the way that is possible. I mean, a self-reflection is possible with the support of e-learning concept, and observing other educators via different online courses can be very beneficial. Teachers can compare different teaching style, practices, etc. They can become more aware of what kind of teachers they are. Many times we consider some great teachers as our role models, right? And their way of delivering the content is very, very inspired, right? They're the role models, and we can keep them as role models, and we can try to become teachers like that, right? So that's how we can have many such materials delivered by the stalwarts in that particular subject, and we can listen to their lectures, we can compare, and we can try to acquire knowledge, and we try to be like that, so that one fine day, right, maybe we can reach that level, and we also can become if not a very great teachers, a good teachers, right? So that's what is the observations. So these are of course, I'm not telling that all these things are not aware of, but more formally we should understand the importance of e-learning in this framework, and how it is beneficial to the teachers, right, when it comes to a profession, and how it also helps for self-development, because a teacher is a lifelong learner, right? Okay, so with this, some of the characteristics of e-learning are, with the first one is the content. I'm not going to spend more time on this, because we have already touched upon many of these issues. So just I would like to give you a precise summary of the characteristics of e-learning. One is the content. When it comes to the content, it can be a text, it can be a video, it can be graphics, and it can be a sound, right? So all of them are integrated together, and we call it as a multimedia content. Okay, so whenever you have access to any e-learning material, you can definitely experience such a multimedia content in any such e-learning material, right? And that's what is the characteristics of e-learning. Next is the collaboration and sharing. We have already discussed about it. Communities of practice, peers, other trainees, experts, mentors, and advisors. So in the subject of your interest and the domain, maybe commerce or economics or mathematics or physics or computer science, whatever it may be, you can have a collaboration with other people in that particular subject, and you can have a community of practice, and you can interact with your peers, and also you can interact with other trainers, experts, mentors, and advisors, right? So next is the delivery. Internet are the means to deliver the content, and web is the media, and where the data is stored, where it can be accessed, right, like an interface. And distance learning is possible, and of course the CD-ROM or other storage medias are used to deliver the content. And again, when it comes to administration, enrollment, monitoring, progress assessment, everything can be done with the support of technology in e-learning platform, and that's how it reduces most of the administrative burdens, right? And if well implemented, right? I will come to that little later. And another is linked to resources. Other training materials can be linked. Other web-based training can also be linked to electronic performance support systems. So whenever we are providing reference information to our students or whoever we call learners, we can provide additional link where other materials are made available, right? And so that they can watch at any time, and they can even just go into the depth, right, and access the material, and whichever found feasible and interesting, they can just watch. Because many times what happens, the same content delivered by two different experts may definitely give a different understanding. I mean, when it comes to the ease of understanding and the depth of understanding, So it is up to the learner to find out the best material and the better understanding of the concept. Okay, so that's how it's always possible and also feasible and desirable to link the resources with whatever the material we are going to deliver to the students. So with this, at the center we have a learner control. One is called the practice, right? They can practice any number of times and as possible, and pacing. Maybe the students can spend 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, depending upon their convenience. And also they can get a feedback depending upon what they have already studied, so that they can assess themselves that whether they have learned properly or not. Okay, so whether the concepts have been understood properly or not. Okay, so because once they study a particular concept, associated with that concept, there will be one problem to be solved. So if a student is capable of solving that problem, then it means that the student understood that idea and now he has learned completely, right? So again, that assessment can be done through the e-learning mechanism itself. And next is the content and also the accessibility, which we already discussed about. So all these things are the major components and the characteristics of e-learning. Okay, so with this, now how can we build an e-learning culture at an institution level, right? So here are the three major components. One is the teacher, another is the administrator, another is the learner. So these three are the actors of the system, where if at all we want to think of building an e-learning culture, right? So as a teacher, we should develop knowledge and skills to deliver the content to the students, understand learning and its need, facilitate learning, and create learning opportunities. So these are the responsibilities as a teacher. And then as an administrator, create a learning environment, provide ICT infrastructure, resources for a lifelong learning. Okay, so that's as an administrator, that is a role. And as a learner, self-directed, self-motivated, self-regulating, and lifelong learning, right? So definitely with technology, always we can have benefits and as well as the limitations, or we can say demerits. Many times we highlight the demerits than the merits. Okay, so definitely the one of the best desirable quality of a learner is a self-directed, right? Self-motivated and self-regulating, right? So I must be directed myself. I should have that ability in me, and self-motivated. If at all I want to learn something, I need not, right? I need not to be triggered by somebody else, right? I must be self-motivated and self-regulating. I must know what to learn, what not to learn, when to learn. So all those self-regulating and also lifelong learning. So this is where we are finding very difficult, right? But if everybody is able to acquire this kind of quality attributes, then definitely building an e-learning culture will become a very, very simple steps, right? So with these three major components, we can think of building an e-learning culture at an institution level or at a society level, anywhere. But definitely this will be, this will going to happen in a very near future, because we cannot go back. We always have to move forward, and we cannot escape from this. We have to go ahead, right? So that's how, if at all we want to build, these are the three essential components. So I think we have to take a break. Is it so, or what is the time break, please? Anyone can?
Sir, usually by 11:15.
11:15, sir.
11:15 they'll
Okay,
be for
okay.
break, sir.
Okay, madam. So let's have a break of that. I think it's
11:45 they'll again.
okay, 30 minutes. Almost, right?
11:45 assemble, sir.
Okay. So then we shall be back by 11:45, right?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Please take a break and we shall be back soon at 11:45.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Irane sir, ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ನಾನ್ ನಾಗರಾಜು.
ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ ನಾಗರಾಜು.
ಏನ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಹಿಂಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆಯಾ ಮಳವಳ್ಳಿ
ಇಬ್ಬಿಬ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಂಗ
ಹಾ
ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಂಗ